Okay, everyone, away we go. It's a Tuesday morning in Central Australia, Alice Springs. It's a wonderful morning. It's going to be 36 degrees. It's going to be beautiful. Remember what I said. We've got nothing to complain about in this world. We don't. We are, here in Australia, we are safe. Compared to the rest of the world, this is the most amazing country on earth. The safety net means that you never will be truly poor. And we don't have any nation surrounding us that wants to wipe us out of existence. No, we don't. We share good relationships with all our neighbours. So if you've got a sore toe today, make that the only thing you complain about, because you truly do have nothing else that should bother you. This is episode 488. This is Blind Magic in Alice Springs. And yes, this is your host, Murray Stewart. I want to give a free plug today. Yeah, they're not sponsors yet. But they, in effect, have sponsored me with their goodwill over this past 12 months. The battle that I have had has been well profiled on this broadcast, so I won't dwell. But what I will say from the team at Chiro Plus, the Health Collective here in Alice Springs, you have been amazing. Just simply by letting me know that I had a job to return to when I was ready, willing and able, gave me great strength, great recuperative powers, and meant that I had less to worry about. And by stressing less, I was able to achieve more with my rehab. I have said that I've entered the final battle of my attempt now to have my life back to normality. It's a battle I absolutely intend to win. So if you want to book to see me or the Chiro there at Chiro Plus in Alice Springs, you only need to call, if you're in Alice Springs, 8953 5601. That's 8953 5601, or you can call me directly on 0407 256 428. That's 0407 256 428. And g'day to Andrew and g'day to Zach. Good blokes, good people, good hearts, good chiros. And they send only the best chiros to Alice Springs to look after you. And they're good people. And I have had nothing but great dialogue with all of those professionals. We work wonderfully well together on all of the clients that come under our care. So you will be looked after, no matter who you book with at Chiro Plus here in Central Australia, Alice Springs. All right, enough of that. Now on with the show. I heard an interview this morning with Simon Goodwin and also Gary Pert. Gary Pert, the CEO of the Melbourne Footy Club, and Simon Goodwin, of course, the coach. And it got me thinking that, do we not ask too much of these young men that generate the product called AFL football, that is the best game on earth? Do we ask too much? I mean, the young men, prone to do what young men do. We're lucky enough here in Alice Springs that when we do have visiting teams, we can get up close and personal During my time on council as Deputy Mayor, I had the privilege of going to a lot of events in town, so I got up close and personal with members of the English cricket team during their visit, and also AFL footballers, many of them from West Coast Eagles, Port Adelaide, the Melbourne Footy Club, etc., etc. And every one of them were courteous, acted like true gentlemen. Their families would be extremely proud of them. But you know, they're really living in a rather surreal, unrealistic world where everyone wants a piece of them, where they are held to standards way, way above the average young man. We live in a society where, unfortunately, violence has become all too common. Behaviour on our street is below par. Youth crime is out of control. So, is it time we cut these young blokes some slack? Compared to the mayhem on our streets and society in general, these young men are wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. Outstanding. A credit to themselves, their families, their club and their code. Of course there's going to be a few that will drop off the perch, the high standards that we all hold them to. Of course there will be. Every move has been scrutinised these days. Everyone's got an iPhone, an iPad, a digital camera, itching to bring these blokes down, itching to knock off the tall poppy. Well, I say, stop it. Stop it. Cut these blokes some slack. In fact, all you need to do is to walk up to them and give them praise. If you can't say something positive, don't say anything at all, I say. Because most of these young men are good young fellas, good young Australian fellas. And I truly do believe that it's time we gave them far more credit than has been afforded to them in our media and the public in general. You know, the discussion this morning with both Gary Pert and also Simon Goodwin was, you would think that they were representing the United Nations, these young blokes. It's bloody football. It's supposed to be our Australian escape. But the way they talked about these young blokes is as if they were expected to exceed to standards which none of us are held to account for. Sure, developing a wonderful culture is important. It is. But that comes through treating young blokes with respect, with realism, and, just treating them as human beings and understand each and every one of them from the point of view that they're not going to always make good decisions. Occasionally, they're going to do what young blokes do, and when that happens, sure, hold them to account and let them know that that's exactly what will happen if they do behave in that manner, and there'll be no surprises if that's the case. Absolutely no surprises. I find everyone that I come across knows right from wrong. They do. So it's just a matter of letting them know what the consequences will be, and most young blokes will treat that with respect And yeah, sure, there'll be the occasional one, but if we treat everyone from the bottom up, in other words, treat them as if they're going to behave from the lowest common denominator point of view, then no wonder then will there be discourse between the officials and the players, or the coach and the players. I mean, I've been coaching athletes for a very, very long time. And sure, there were some that behaved out of sport, in other words, away from our gaze in a manner that I would have preferred they didn't. But every time I spoke to them, every time I addressed the issues, because they knew exactly where I was coming from, always their behaviour immediately adjusted for the better. Because I saw my role as not only coaching elite athletes to do elite things, but also saw my role as developing a respectful relationship that would ensure that they grew to become wonderful young men and wonderful young women. And to this day, when I walk the streets of Alice Springs, some of those athletes that are now a little older always come and say hello, treat me with respect, because they know that the teachings from their days in our athletics club formed who they are today. Absolutely formed who they are today. So come on, GP, general public. Come on, media. Come on, all of us. Cut these blokes some slack. Give them a bit of credit. And as a general statement, praise them for the great football they play and the great people they are becoming. This is episode 488, a Blind Magic Communications production.